this is Tori and welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to be talking to you about winter sowing, and as you can see outside, it's a blustery day. Here's my garden. It is January 18th and we're finally getting some real snow here in upstate New York. Usually by this time we'd have feet of snow, so here's the supplies I gathered. A plastic bottle. I gathered several different kinds of plastic bottles and containers that I just had from regular use. This one's a salad box. You also will need your seeds that you'll be sowing. The hot glue gun. I'm using scissors. And I bought these garden markers this year. They're supposed to not rub off or wear off in the sun. Some name tags as well, very important. Also not pictured yet is the potting mix. Oh, here it is. And don't recommend this specific formula for this use. But anyways, how to make the holes in the container. I just used the empty hot glue gun after it was heated and I just poked it through. It's pretty easy, you don't need a lot of force, but I did need to do it on both sides to get it all the way through. It can be kind of a pain to keep maneuvering the plastic around like that, but in general, it was pretty easy. So I just did about 6 holes in the top. So the time to do everything was about 2 hours. That includes some interruptions. So not a long process for this. Now I flipped it over. I made about 9 holes, I think, on the bottom of these size containers. I felt that having better drainage would be important, so I made sure I did a little more holes for the drainage. And one thing I did see is that if the hole's too big, some of the dirt could come out when you're watering it. So that's something to consider as well with this method of using the glue gun. The holes might have been a little bit too big. I'm not sure. So I'm gonna do the same thing with the milk jug. On the bottom I'm putting in the holes, and when I'm done putting in these holes, I'm just going to use my scissors at that point and cut around in the center, but a little more toward the top. You want to get enough space to have soil, and I left some for like a hinge. Now this is another mistake, so please don't put your dirt in dry. But why did I measure it? I think you need to have like 4 inches of space for the dirt. So the salad container is a little shallow. I'm not sure if it's gonna work, but I'm gonna try it because I do have a few of them and they're pretty wide, so I know they're gonna hold a lot of seeds and seedlings. So if it works, that will be great. But I did read one of the forums that I was on that you should have 4 inches of space for the dirt. Anyways, as you can see here, so like my holes are a little big, so dirt's falling out at the bottom, and yeah, so I don't know, maybe if it's wet it's gonna lose less. But anyways, here's my dirt here, and now looks like I'm wetting it. It looks very wet, but I can promise you that dirt is not wet beyond that first layer. So I mean, that peat moss is very hard to wet. Just keep that in mind. So that's why I said I don't really recommend the seed starting formula. It was extremely hard to get wet. So here it looks like it's soaked. However, you're gonna soon see that it's definitely not. So my mistake here was thinking that it was. So I took my sticks, I labeled them, And here's my beautiful Paradisio echinacea, and was really excited about these flowers. I'm just going to put them in the dirt. Spacing wise, I'm not going to follow that because I am going to take them out and plant them after they become seedlings, but I am going to follow the depth recommendations. So I'm just going to sprinkle them on top and spread them out as much as I can. I didn't have a lot of seeds in this packet because it was I think like a more expensive flower or something like that. So there's only like 15 seeds in there, but I'm just going to poke them in a little bit. They're going in 1/8 of an inch. So that's how I plant things like that. I just poke them in very lightly if they're 1/8 of an inch, or maybe sprinkle some dirt on top. So last year, we had used popsicle sticks and Sharpies to label all of our seedlings, and we grew them indoors, so they weren't even exposed to the outdoor weather, but just watering them regularly, every single name tag came off, and we were so confused as to what was what. Then also they did end up not really making it, most of them. The tomatoes did, but that was the only thing I could really identify. We had, I don't know, probably 20 different vegetables. All right, so I'm putting the duct tape around this to seal it up, and it's not easy. All right, so be careful. Don't do what I did, which you're about to see. Oh, there it goes. Oh, my seeds. So sad, so sad. When I opened it, they were all mixed up. The whole entire thing, it was completely dry, so I had to just replant it with something else. Yeah, very sad. So, don't do what I did. Make sure your dirt is completely wet before you put it in the jug. I promise you, you will regret it if you don't. So I wasted all those seeds, and I just replanted it with the white echinaceas that I had, but that's not on film because I was very sad when that happened. So I made about, I think, 10 more containers to finish this night of planting up. And I decided I wound up planting the bee balm, the yarrow, lavender, and the other echinacea that I had, a purple one. And I had these harder plastic containers as well, that the glue gun doesn't work on them, so I had to go look for an X-Acto knife. And even this one, it was kind of hard to do, so I had multiple X-Acto knives, so I just used a different one. It was a little sharper, but it was kind of hard. So yeah, just take care if you use this, and I'm not 100% sure if the slits will drain well, so I'm gonna have to test those and show that in a different video, because I didn't end up just having the energy to keep using the knife and slicing all those things. So I just ended up cutting the easy ones for this video and this day. So after my little mishap, I got some regular potting soil. I had added a little bit of perlite to this because I do think you need to have loose soil for the roots to form easily. And then I just put it in this tote and wet it in advance by pouring water into the tote. So now I'm gonna be putting the dirt into my containers, and it's nice and wet. Sometimes I noticed some of the areas weren't as wet, so I just added a little more water to it, but this way was a lot better. I noticed that I didn't have as much dirt falling out of the bottom of the holes as well, though there was still a little bit of dirt coming out. So I'm going to talk a little bit about how I chose the varieties that I was going to plant. And I chose to plant perennials first because they would normally be outside during the cold anyways, so that would make the most sense. And if you look on the website, wintersown.org, which is where I first read about winter sowing, you will see that she recommends that that is a good type of plant to plant for winter sowing, is anything that's like a perennial, cold hardy, especially if it is a native to a northern climate. So that's what I'm starting out with at this time. I will be doing more winter sowing as the months come on, but here in my area we actually have a really long sort of like winter season. We can sometimes even get snow in May. In fact, I think the past 2 years we've gotten snow at the end of April, early May. So yeah, I'm looking through my seeds now, picking out some lavender. I really would love to have lavender in my garden. I haven't had a ton of luck. Oh, and there you can see my little buddy, my little helper. And she is very interested in tasting everything that we have, especially the dirt. So I have to be really careful with what she's doing. But yeah, so I will be doing more additional winter sowings after this. I'm gonna have to get additional containers, and I've been thinking about trying something with the larger plastic totes. I've seen a couple other people do that, but I haven't quite decided exactly what I'm going to be doing yet. So any ideas or ways that you've done it, let me know. I would love to hear more ideas. I just am so excited for this upcoming growing season. I can't get enough gardening videos and posts, and I'm just dying for the sun to come out so I can start planting my garden. So like I said, I found all the information about how to winter sow on wintersown.org, and I will post that link in the description so you can go to her website. I also found a Facebook group for winter sowing, and it's by the same person who made the website, and I found a lot of good information there. So you can always go join that as well. And I'm really excited about this method because we have big plans for our garden this year. I really want to put a lot of flowers in, especially native perennials, so that I don't have to do quite as much work each year. And I do have a big vegetable garden planned as well, and I need those pollinators to be, interested in coming around. So that's one of the many reasons why I'm winter sowing. So I did forget to take a picture right away, but here is the completed jugs, and they were out all night in the snow, and I just tested the duct tape and I found that it's pretty secure, so I guess that does work. And so now I'll just be leaving these here, and hopefully I'll get more jugs. And if you have any questions or comments, I'd love to hear them in the comments below. So thank you for watching, and happy gardening.